As you begin to notice that feeling, that sensation, something shifting, something unlocking, as if a door, long hidden, long forgotten, suddenly stands before you, slightly open, just enough to let in the light, just enough for you to remember, because there was a time, wasn't there, where you didn't know how to tie your shoes, and yet here you are. A time when words on a page were nothing but strange marks, yet here you are. You can read, you can understand, you can listen, you can absorb, and something deeper, beneath the words, beyond the meaning, starts to appear. Because those who stand taller, those who walk into a room and own it, they weren't born knowing. They weren't gifted something magical. They simply realized something simple, something profound, something that was always there, just waiting for them to notice, that they deserve. And maybe, just maybe, as you begin to let that thought settle in, like warm sunlight on your skin, like the first deep breath after a long, long time, you begin to wonder, what if you'd been taught the wrong thing? What if the beliefs that you carried weren't really yours, just echoes of voices from long ago? People who meant well, people who didn't know any better, passing down their own fears, their own limitations. Because here's the thing about echoes, they fade, and the truth remains. The truth that some people, they walk into a room and own it, because they never questioned whether they belonged. They didn't wonder if they deserved it. They knew. And just imagine what happens when you know, when you decide. Because isn't it interesting how the moment you decide, something changes? The way you stand, the way you move, the way the world responds to you. Successful people, they hold a different belief, a deeper one that resonates in their bones, in their breath, in their very presence. They know that work isn't a struggle, unless you believe it is. The respect isn't given, it's commanded. That happiness isn't a reward, it's a choice. That abundance isn't luck, it's alignment. And if you were to, just for a moment, let that belief in, like a seed planting itself deep in your mind, what happens? Because isn't it fascinating how quickly things change? When you start seeing yourself differently, when you start feeling worthy, not as a question, but as a fact, because you are. And the moment you own that, the world bends to meet you. And you begin to wonder, just for a moment, how deeply this transformation is already taking root, without needing to worry, without needing to force anything, because the most powerful shifts, they happen effortlessly, naturally, like the way dawn replaces the night, like the way a seed grows into a tree, without ever needing to be told how. Because haven't you noticed the way some people move through the world with effortless confidence, that certainty, that presence, as if they belong, as if they deserve, as if life itself is rearranging in their favour? And isn't it interesting how they were never taught to doubt themselves, never taught to settle, to shrink, to live in fear? What if those old beliefs, those old doubts, they were never really yours? What if they were just borrowed, passed down from voices that had forgotten their own power? That you begin to realise that power was never lost. It's only waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to claim it. Because isn't that the truth? The truth that changes everything. The moment you decide, the moment you know, the moment you allow, everything shifts. Because you weren't born to struggle. You weren't born to beg for respect, to tolerate less than you deserve, to live in fear of what might go wrong. No, you were born to own your space, to walk into a room and belong without question, to be valued, to be respected, to be wanted. Not because you asked for it, but because it's your natural state. Because have you always known, deep down, that something wasn't right about the old way? That something inside you was always resisting? That small, quiet part of you that whispered there's more? And what happens when you stop resisting what was always meant for you? When you stop apologizing for wanting more? When you stop believing the lie that success is for other people, that happiness is something to be earned, that confidence is something given instead of something claimed? Because the moment you realize that confidence is a decision, the moment you choose to belong, the moment you accept that you're already worthy, something happens, doesn't it? A shift, a feeling, a knowing. It's like stepping into a larger version of yourself, like remembering a power that was always there, like breathing differently, standing differently, speaking differently. Because when you're different, the world treats you differently. And those who've always had the power, they didn't second guess it. They didn't hesitate. They don't ask for permission. They simply are. What's fascinating is, the more you embrace this, the more it becomes natural, the more it becomes you, until one day, maybe sooner than you expect, you look back and you wonder how you ever believed otherwise, because this is who you're always meant to be.